Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Last time we launched a rocket that ended up kind of destroying most of itself. It was unfortunate, but it's okay. We built another rocket. We didn't launch it yet, so it is now our job to launch it out there. And our goal, of course, being, let's look at our mission. Our mission is, shut up, Gene Kerman, you little prick, to receive science data from Kerman, which will give us 20,000 big ones, a bit of science, and a bit of reputation. It'll be brilliant. Okay, let's do this. Vehicle assembly bay. Giant rocket of death. Where beeth thou? Where beeth thou indeed? It is not actually called the giant rocket of death. It's actually called just making the big bucks. Costs about 15,000 big bucks to make. It's ridiculous. Okay, look at it. We've got the triple stage of solid fuel thumper boosters, the standard maneuver, so that we can actually get up into space instead of, you know, blowing ourselves up halfway through. Because if we don't get the money, we're gonna die, and if we die, that'd be unfortunate. And it's not just like a Kerbin dying, it would be the entire space center going under. Oh, Lord. Bill Kerman! Out of the cockpit, please! It's Gichelle Kerman's time to fly, which is pretty much every time at this point. Okay, let's get this done. Let's do this in the name of all Kerbins in the world from here to, I don't know, South Africa. Good God, Gichelle Kerman. Good luck, you crazy creature. You're probably going to die a terrible death. Oh, Lord, no, that staging is wrong. That would have been unfortunate. Had we not done that, we would have had the stabilizers release before the rockets went off, which would have led to the entire rocket just dropping onto the platform and exploding, which would be just about one of the worst things to happen to us at this point. That would be sad and unfortunate, I must note. But nothing happened. We're perfectly fine. We're flying up into space, and Gichelle Kerman is stupidly happy. Goodbye, Yon Space Center. You were so nice in your time. We must now depart into space in the name of science and, you know, making the big bucks. Which, you know, it has to be done. Someone has to make the big bucks at some point. If you don't, how can you do any science? Okay, we are making it upwards. The first stage is almost done. And we are almost at 10,000 meters. That is a very solid distance. And now we shall begin angling to 90 degrees. No, that's not 90 degrees. Gichelle Kerman, most definitely not 90 degrees, please note. Oh, good God. Oh, good God, Gichelle, please get control of your vessel. I'm turning off the SAS for a moment. This should allow us to better angle this without you trying to destroy everything, Gichelle. There we go. That's a decent angle, Gichelle Kerman. Continue to fly at that angle and perhaps, I don't know, maybe we won't die a terrible death? I mean, if that's what you want, Gichelle Kerman, we can do it for you. It's entirely possible. I could just turn the ship around and slam you back into Kerbin. Admittedly, that wouldn't really do us any good at all. But it would make me feel good. That is for sure. And Gichelle Kerman, what is more important than feeling good at this point? Surviving? Psh! Shut up, Gichelle. You don't know what you're on about. Okay, we are almost out of the third stage. Got a pretty decent flight path that may or may not be actually a death sentence. That is a really steep flight path. Gichelle, why didn't you tell me you were going on such a steep flight path? Oh, good Lord, what if you die now, Gichelle? What are we going to do? I would probably just quit entirely and go into Sandbox, which is probably a good idea at this point. Because this campaign is quite slow, I will say. Or I'm really bad at it. And it's more likely that I'm really bad at it, if we are to actually be completely honest here. Let's observe the materials bay. Ooh, there's some glowing stuff. We got 8.2 science. That's nice. We can do a crew report. It's very round, very nice. Very good, Gichelle. Many stupid things have been said here today. Turn off the SAS and plummet back towards the planet, please. There's really no other hope for you but to return home. Oh, Lord. Yep, moving quite quickly. I remember the time when Thomtree Kerman plummeted into the planet and exploded because we turned the time up far too high. That cannot happen again, people. It shall not happen again. It will not happen again. Definitely not to Gichelle. Oh, God, it's gonna blow up, isn't it? It hasn't blown up yet. Ooh, it got pretty close, though. It got hot. Hot like a giant chicken sitting over a fire being slowly roasted and the juices dripping down into the fire and being just so succulent. Of course, it was actually nothing like that because there were no juices dripping from our ship. But it was quite nice and warm, and Gichelle was also quite nice and warm. She was aware of the situation, concerned just a bit, but Gichelle is also very dumb. Like, so dumb, it's ridiculous. I don't even know how she flies this thing, since it is a very technologically advanced rocket. Gichelle, you really shouldn't be flying this. We need to find someone with some brains in their heads. She doesn't have any. She's in every situation, regardless of how terrible it might be, her standard reaction is to smile with her mouth open and just be like, mate, this is awesome, even though literally my dog just got run over by a jet ski while I was sitting in my backyard, which doesn't make any sense. Where did the jet ski come from? Gichelle doesn't know. Gichelle doesn't care either. She's just happy. And we've landed. Good job, Gichelle. You have completed your mission. Recover the vessel. Bring it back in. We should complete a mission as well. Bring in 20,000 big ones for the science. For the rocket stuff. Ooh, and we have 91 science now. Okay, we got 8.2 science from material studies. Brought some parts back in. Gichelle Kerman gained no experience because she's a prick. We're going to recover the pieces from making the big bucks over there. And then what do we got? We've just received experimental data from space around Kerbal. Good work. 20,000 big ones, 3 science, 4 reputation. Very nice. Okay, we're not completely dead yet. That's good. Let's examine what else we have to do. Ferry 4 tourists safely to their destinations and back. What is their destination? Orbit around Kerman, fly by the Mun? Fly by Minmus? Mate, I can't do those things. What are you on about? Oh, good lord. I can barely fly off of this freaking planet. Don't you know anything? Come on now, mates. We don't seem to have any good missions. It's just attempt to fly by the Mun. That's not good. Okay. Let us then go into research and development and see what else we shall pick up. What is this? Advanced construction? Hydraulic detachment manifold? I don't even know what that means. But anyway, I don't think we want it. Perhaps we want something from advanced flight control? Mark 1 lander can, some micropropellant. This has RCS in it, but I don't think we want RCS thrusters yet. We really need more rockets is what we need, or that barometer might do well. I mean, it could bring us some additional science, which would be nice given that we're running out of science. Or we could do this and have a constantly running tiny little probe. What do we need to get more rocket stuff? Fuel tank, Terrier liquid fuel engine. And then we go here. Okay. Okay, I think what we need is to take this guy, the advanced rocketry, and then move in time onto the heavy rocketry. Heavy rocketry will give us this kickback solid fuel booster, which is better than our Thumper one. More expensive, but still better. And then this one will give us the Terrier liquid fuel engine, which is a good engine for once we get into orbit and we want to move into orbit around like the Mun or Minmus or something. We can use this Terrier liquid fuel engine. It's pretty small, but it has good enough thrust to get us into position. So let's do this research, which we could have done a while ago, but just leave it. Don't even think about it. Just leave it. It's fine. And then once we get another 45 science, we'll use heavy rocketry. It'll be brilliant. Okay. That means that now it is our time to create a new rocket. And this rocket, I swear to goodness, shall lead us on to victory. Making the big bucks! Be gone, making the big bucks! You made the big bucks, and it's fine. You've done a good job, but we need a new rocket, and we're going to use this lander can because it is quite a bit cheaper than this guy. Well, not cheaper. That's not the problem. It's lighter. There we go. It's quite a bit lighter, so it's easier to launch it into space. We'll attach that. Let's get ourselves... What sort of science stuff should we put on here? We should put a thermometer, I think. Just to make sure that... We're going to do a flyby of the Mun, by the way. Just in case you were wondering. So we're going to put this scientific equipment, which should be quite useful to us once we get there. And I swear, this time we're actually going to get there. You're thinking to yourself, oh, you've said that like 20 times. How do we know you're actually going to get there? I'm just going to say you have to trust me, mate. I know what I'm doing. I understand the necessities of flying to the moon. And we shall make it there this time with our nice Terrier rocket engine. Let's just put on the heat shield, and now we have the main brunt of our rocket. Perfectly fine. Add the stack decoupler. And now we need to create the engines. The engines of doom and destruction. What do we have here? We have a FL T400 fuel tank, which is larger than the previous ones, but we want probably these two. And then we'll put on a Terrier liquid fuel engine, which should do just fine for maneuvering once we get into space. Bada boom. Then we will put on the second liquid fuel engine. Let's put on like that. This one will have the swivel liquid fuel engine attached to it for extra thrust. Wait, let's look at this. This has a max thrust of 200. This is a max thrust of 300. Okay. I've got a new plan, people. What we shall do is we shall have a central liquid fuel engine, and on the side we will place the engines that will get us out of atmosphere. So watch this. This is the main rocket. And we will attach some, where are they? Under structural. Radial decouplers, 4 in total. Count them, 4, not 3, not 2, 4. Not even 6. I mean, 6 is a bit ridiculous. That'd be absolutely ridiculous. And we'll put on here the Thumper solid fuel boosters. Oh, yes, look at that. They appear to be attached quite nicely. We need to put these structural strut connectors on there. Right there. And there, just to make sure that it doesn't start, you know, bowing in towards the rocket like it did way back when, that caused the rocket to explode more than one time in the past, which was bad. Probably should have figured out the first time that, you know, it was going terribly downhill, but I didn't, so, you know, we just have to live with that. Okay. Is this an adequate rocket to get us to the Mun? So the idea here is we have our solid fuel boosters. These guys are going to get us off the ground and potentially into upper atmosphere. We then have the main rocket, which is a liquid fuel engine that should get us pretty close to the Mun, I would think. It'll get us way out there. It'll be nice. And then we also have our Thumper, our small liquid fuel booster right up here that will eventually get us into a good position. Brilliant! Looks nice. And we've got some science to do once we're up there. This will be the marvelous... Oh, good lord. The marvelous flight craft of destiny. The marvelous flight craft of destiny. To the moon or die trying. You think I jest. You're gonna die if you don't make it to the moon, mate. Okay. Bill Kerman shall not be in there because Bill Kerman, you're disgusting! Get out. It's Gichelle Kerman's time. There we are. Gichelle Kerman shall once again fly into space. Oh, we also need to put on here these guys, the stability enhancers, to prevent it from falling over as we launch it, as it's sitting on the launch pad, which would be really bad. Be really bad if that happened. Okay. Let us, my friends, begin our maiden voyage. Let's just make sure that all the staging is proper. These go off at the same time, then they decouple. Then we do the liquid fuel, that decouples. Do the other liquid fuel, that decouples, and then we parachute down. That is proper, that is brilliant. Save it, launch it. Gichelle Kerman, there is no rest for the wicked, you fool. It will be your time, once again, to go into space. And my lord, is it going to be ridiculous. 3, 2, 1. Good God, you're doomed. It's ridiculous, you're so dead. It's not even a question. We have to turn our throttle all the way up. This throttle only applies to liquid fuel engines, which is why liquid fuel engines are pretty good. You can actually choose how much throttle they have, as opposed to these guys, which just launch, go full blast until they're completely gone, and then they stop working, and you have to detach them. Or you could just keep them on. I mean, you don't have to detach them. But I'm telling you right now, it'd be a pretty bad move to not detach your solid fuel engines. I mean, they're gonna weigh you down like nobody's business. It's like if you were to be like... What just happened? Hold up for a moment. What just happened? I was trying to think of a good analogy, and it appears that the solid fuel boosters have not detached from the vessel. Gichelle? What's going on, Gichelle? Are you aware of what's going on? Because I don't know. I guess we're just going around with the solid fuel boosters? They must have accidentally gotten attached to the liquid fuel canisters. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. That is gonna, as I was saying, terribly weigh down our vessel. Oh lord. That's not good. Okay, let's look at our orbit. We definitely need a steeper ascent. That is for sure. Because if we're gonna get to the Mun, we need a pretty steep orbit. Come on, Gichelle. Make it there, or be square. And by square, I mean I'm gonna slam you into the planet. It's not really a similar thing, but you know, it's just gotta be done at some point. At some point, you have to face the fact that you failed us, and you need to live with the consequences, which are being painted onto a mountainside somewhere. Good lord. It's a good thing, people, that NASA is nothing like us, or else, oh, this would be a NASA would be a terrible situation. Well, okay, we are almost to the final stage. We've got an orbit. It's a pretty bad orbit, I'll admit. I don't think this liquid fuel engine is terribly good at moving this large of a craft. Okay, there we go. Decouple. And fire. Whee! Goodbye, connection. Well, in reality, we must wait. Because this is the end of the episode, and you'd say, how could you stop an episode in the middle of the launch? Don't worry. I shall save it. We shall return to the Space Center and resume the flight next time. That's right, I'm leaving you on a cliffhanger. Will Gichelle Kerman survive? Will she die? Who knows? But we can look at her in the tracking station right now. Look, there she is. Look at her. We do need to move, actually, quite quickly, because she is still moving up there. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we shall come to the end of our amazing flight with Gichelle Kerman in her attempt to get to the Mun, which so far hasn't gone terribly well because the solid fuel boosters didn't detach from the vessel for some reason. Ridiculous. But until then, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.